Hey, welcome to the latest episode of the Red Shed Ramblings. I'm very excited today because I have Monica Maltese, who I live my life vicariously through because every time that I look on her social media accounts, she's either at a motorcycle show representing a motorcycle brand, selling houses, paddleboarding, kayaking, doing whatever. Welcome. And
Hi,
thank you
thank
for
you.
spending a little time with us in the Red Shed
Of
today.
course, thank you.
So, I don't want to get hung up on the real estate side of it, but I want you to take a minute and just tell us what you do
Okay.
and and relax.
All right. Yeah. So what I do, well, I nap a lot. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So I
See,
do.
that's why I'm jealous.
I know, right? I do nap a lot. That's very important in life. Um, but no, like, so I sell real estate. That's my full time job. I've been doing it 8 years now, and that is full time. That's my bread and butter. I do have a side gig where I travel, and do motorcycle events and, so that's like fun. But of course, as you know, as a realtor, when you're on vacation, you're never on vacation. So 24/7, the computer's with me, the phone is with me, answering emails, answering phone calls, even if I'm far away, so it always comes with me.
So, one of the things that intrigues me about you that I see, and you have to educate me because I don't want to talk out of turn here.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a conversation once before when I talked to you about potentially doing this. Is you're on a team,
Yes.
and I am totally ignorant when it comes to a team because our brokerage, we probably have, I want to say probably 32 agents right now. And to be honest and legit, probably 15 of those are full time. This is what we do for a living.
Right.
You've got just like every brokerage, you have those that are kind of retired and just doing friends and families that are
Yeah.
just hanging their license there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have some part times with some new moms and stuff out there that will be transitioning full time. So I don't know anything about teams.
Mm-hmm.
Can you educate me as much as you can? I know that's hard. With how did you become? Did you start on a team? Were you a solo agent first? Tell me why you went to a team, what that entails, and some advantages to being on a team.
Okay. So, I'll try to make a long story short, right?
Yeah.
I've been in sales. I mean, you've known me a long time. I don't know,
Yeah.
15, 17 years.
I think today
I
was arguing with Ronnie about it. I think it's like 17 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So you've seen, like, I've gone through some transitions, but I've always been in sales,
Yeah.
right? So my team lead that I'm with now, we worked together a lifetime ago at Sephora, when I worked at Sephora. And we managed together, and she left retail management to get into real estate. And she did it for about 2 years, and I was still in management. And you've been in retail management.
Yay.
You know how much fun that is, right?
Yay.
So she would tell me, she's like, Monica, you need to get into real estate. Like, you'd be so good at it. You just need to get out of, because retail management is a soul killer.
It's it takes your whole life away.
Yeah, it does. Like holidays, weekends, anything. It's
call outs.
Yeah.
Two people wanting vacation same time. I mean, it's just a nightmare.
And
I don't miss any part of that.
Right. Your salary, so you work all the time.
Yeah.
So that's like, we talked about that a little bit. Like, I've set my life up where I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to be tethered to a time clock, right? And babysitting adults.
That's
so
true.
She did it for 2 years and said, you have to get into this. Now she's over in Pinellas. So I was over here in Hillsborough. And we kind of talked about me working with her, but it didn't seem like a really good fit because I was over here, So I got with a brokerage. The broker was a personal friend of mine, and she mentored me. And it was amazing because, like, we had that one-on-one.
Yeah.
And that was, like, priceless to really start with somebody. And that's the thing, like, for new realtors, to get with a company or a broker that is going to, because, real estate school doesn't teach you how to be a realtor.
No, not at all.
So you really, have a mentor regardless of, whether it's another realtor or whether it's your broker. So I did that for 2 years, and then me and her would refer client, customers to each other back and forth. And then we kind of revisited, like, hey, why don't you come work with me on my team? Like, that was, So we talked about it. And she's like, you can do Tampa Bay, and then, I'll do Pinellas and Pasco. So it works out good. So the team dynamic where I'm at, I think it's different than a lot of other teams. Like some teams, they have buyer's agents, they have listing agents, they have people who only do like to, go to inspections or whatever. We're not like that. So the brokerage that I'm with, there's like 30 agents, but 9 of them are team leads. And then those team leads have like 2 or 3 full-time agents under them. And then we also have part-time agents or independent agents like your brokerage has, that they do their own thing, right? They're not on a team. So it can be either way. All right. So our team, though, there's 3 of us and my team lead. And what's nice is that we share leads. We get leads from our broker, which is huge.
This is the part I'm trying to figure out.
Yes. So we get leads from our broker because we're on a team and we share them. So we have like we have lead day, which would essentially be like agent on call, like at your office, right? So you have a 24-hour shift, and we split that 24 hours where we take any calls that come in, any leads that come in on the website, any chat leads. And then, if it's something that I can't work, I give it to somebody else on my team and vice versa. So we share, and it's very much like, it's very much like a family. There's no, like, we're not competitive in any way. No.
Yeah.
And all the other team leads that's in my office, I can call any of them at any time and have a support. Like it's such a tight-knit, like close, like family.
Yep.
And once again, being in sales, it's not always like that.
No, you're competing against those other GMs or managers or whatever
the
case may be.
Yeah.
Before you go further, I want to ask this question.
Yeah.
So what happens if I'm not a realtor and I call Monica and say, hey, Monica, I want you to list my house. Can you do that separate from the team, or will you include that with the team? Just out of curiosity.
Right. Okay. So I'm still an agent, right? Like I'm not, my commission gets split with my broker, just like your commission gets split with your broker, right? That doesn't change. So my leads are still mine. My business is generally 50% my own leads and 50% that I get from my broker. So it really is about half and half. And now that I've been doing it for 8 years, I do get a lot more referral business and stuff, but it's still split the same. But no, like the team, my leads are still mine.
Okay. That was the question. Because for me, I'm intrigued with it. This is going to sound selfish. And again,
you don't want to share.
I want to admit that I'm ignorant to the way the teams work.
Yeah.
I don't want to share any of my buyers because, in my opinion, I'm killing it on the buying side. But I want to get more into listings, and I think I'm on my 7th listing in 14 months.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But I'm into or open to the idea of a listing team. We have no teams at our brokerage right now.
Right.
There are no teams.
Yeah.
But everything you said about your brokerage, and I don't want to jump on a bandwagon and try to say our brokerage is great.
Right.
I literally can pick up the phone and call any of the agents, any of our broker associates, I can call my broker anytime, and there is no caddy. That's what I love about it. I mean, because I know it's not that way at certain brokerages. I see it.
Right, like, well, because you said you have like 30-something agents where you're at. And that's the thing, like when you're in more of that like kind of boutique setting, you do have more one-on-one. And, it can be, we work from home a lot, and it can get where you're just like, man, am I just like out here on my own? But this way you can always call somebody or go into the office and actually have a one-on-one conversation and have that support.
I knew it had to be good because I will tell you that I love my brokerage, and for us, for Ronnie, my wife, and I to walk away from the dollar amount jobs and careers that we had to do what we're doing.
Both of you.
And now she sits around eating bonbons. No, she's at the house and she does all the admins for me. She does all my follow-up. She maintains the CRM for me, which allows me to shake hands, open doors, and kiss babies.
Right.
And that is what's allowed me to do more than what typically a new agent would do. And so I'm very grateful for that, and I'm very spoiled with having that. Right. But I had, after I got in it and I got like 20, 25 transactions into it, and I'm like, this is great. And I knew that I had several friends and acquaintances that were realtors, and after having conversations with Casey at where the brokerage wanted to go, I actually even reached out, and she was very quick to shut me down and say, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
But
I know I do get. I try. People try to recruit me all the time, and I'm like, I'm very happy where I'm at for sure.
Because for me, from what I see, there's very few people out there and very few brokerages out there that operate the way we operate, and it not be catty and it be a family. I mean, before I was with you today, I was with every one of the agents.
Oh yeah.
And because they were at the bowling alley.
I know.
And so we cruised by the bowling alley, and that way I could see everybody. But I mean,
that's nice.
It's not the typical, oh, let's go through the mandatory team building. No, it's different.
Right. Yeah. And, like we do a golf tournament every year, and it's so much fun. Like I don't golf. Yeah. I'm terrible. Like what I do.
Ride in the cart and drink. Though.
Yeah. I do. I drive the cart, and I get yelled at for going too fast. Going on 2 wheels. But yeah, I learned how to golf a week before our golf tournament. that's how that works.
Listen, that. Yeah, the golfing thing. It's not for the score. It's for the I don't want the team building. I guess and spend time with everybody.
Yeah.
So, you've kind of opened my eyes about the way the team works, and that you still have the ability, if you have your own lead that comes in, that you handle that.
Right.
And how can I ask the next time? Is there? And I don't want to know yours, so shut me off and don't answer. So what would, if you have a team lead and you have a couple agents, in general, not at your brokerage, but in general, how do they split? If you've got a team lead and you've got 2 agents, how does that work out? Is there a percentage that the team lead gets, and what does the team lead do versus the agent?
Okay. So, well, the team lead is basically like a manager, right? You figure, we come from that retail side, right? So you have, your broker and then the team lead. So if I need support with anything, like say I'm out of town and I have an appraisal, then she'll go to my appraisal for me. So she's there for any of that. So she does get a part of my split, right? Yeah. But like I said, that would go to my broker or to her. Like that's something that they have worked out.
Okay, so
right?
like let's, for simple math, and again, I don't want to know yours, but based on your experience in working with teams, if a commission was, if your normal brokerage split is 80-20 or whatever it is,
right?
But it's a team transaction, does that manager get a larger piece of the pie than the agents, or how does that work?
No, so, okay.
This is the part I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so I think you're confused with the team. So my leads are my leads. They're not the team leads.
Okay.
Okay, so we have our team lead and then 3 agents. So when we split up our lead day, say during my shift, I have a 6-hour shift, I get 4 leads. Those are mine.
Really?
Those are mine.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I work them. If I close them, awesome. It's all a numbers game, right? Yeah. Out of those 4 leads, 1 might be something. 1 might be asking.
I need those odds.
Yeah. 1 might be, what's the pet policy at this condo association? We get those leads too,
Oh, yeah.
But then once I close my split, just saying for numbers, 80-20, that 20% is going to go to my brokerage, and then he gives my team lead her percentage.
Oh.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. So okay, I'm totally turned around now.
Yeah.
You've totally changed what I was the process. We have that for us is no different than, say, our transaction coordinator,
right?
Who for all practical purposes, I love my transaction coordinator. She's running the brokerage. Sorry, it's Casey. Okay. Casey's living large, but he's earned it, and she's running it, and I'm sure that she gets a split or something, and she's compensated for that, and I'm grateful because I say that Ronnie does the follow-up stuff, but if I have an addendum or something needs to be done, our closing team does it for me.
Right. And so if I wanted to hire somebody to do that, I could, but I don't because I'm a control freak. So I do it all myself. So you do
all your own addendums and all that stuff. I would shoot myself.
I do.
I would die.
I do. That's why I nap often.
Yeah, it's such a small percentage difference for them to handle closings versus me. I don't know that I want that hassle, but again, I'm a delegator,
Right.
always have been, and
Yeah.
that makes it easier for me. And I'm sure my transaction coordinator would probably say he delegates too much, but
Right. Yeah.
but it's easier for me, and I know, and like what you're saying, some people it's hard for them to give that up.
Right.
So that I
Yeah.
can understand.
I like to
I would
know.
never have the number of transactions I had right now. If I was had to do my own closings, it would probably cut in a quarter
Right.
because I would be pulling my hair out.
Right. Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. I mean, there was one month I had 5 deals going, and I was like, every night I go to bed and I'm just like, what did I forget today? You know, and then every morning I'd wake up and I'm like, what do I have to do today? You know, like it was just so much, you know, having that many moving parts.
You have a CRM.
Yes.
You just follow up boss or you do something else?
No, so that's another thing with my broker is they provide all of that. So our CRM is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, our broker
Yeah.
provides that, but we do use Follow Up Boss, and
Yeah.
they pay for all the bells and whistles, and
Right.
it's the cat's meow.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't have any issue with that aspect of it. They
Yeah.
do a good job giving us all the tools there. So now you've totally my concept in my mind for what a team was and how you were splitting leads. So
Right. No, so I'm getting leads.
you're
I'm
getting
not
leads; those are yours,
Right.
And
Yeah.
and that person is just helping you.
Right. It's like having a team. You know, it's a small little team that
See,
we
I
can.
thought you guys were splitting listings and
No,
everything.
no. It's still like everything is mine. Like my leads are mine, hers are hers. You know, are the other teammates. But like, say for example, it's a lead that I can't work for whatever reason. You know, like it's in Brooksville or something, and I'm not able to go up there. Then I can go to my team and say, hey, do one of you want this? You know, and they'll say yeah. Or if they get a lead in Tampa, because they'll be like, hey, do you want this lead? Or we're going to be on vacation. Can you help this person? Can you show this person for me? So we help each other out in that respect. But as far as like doing a split for your deals, it's just like how you are as an independent agent.
Okay, see,
Yeah.
I feel better.
Yeah.
Now I'm even more jealous.
I know, it's pretty sweet.
So,
like,
I mean, I have the ability, and I have relationships with other agents in the brokerage
Right.
that I could pick up the phone and say, hey, I can't do this final walkthrough. Can you go? Or
right, yeah.
I will tell you, the control freak in me will not allow that to happen.
Right.
I made a statement.
Well, I know.
I made a statement
I know
a
how
year
you
ago
are.
and said I would die before I asked somebody to go on a showing for me or to take a lead for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm that way. And then I got COVID.
Oh.
And I had showings. So, and it's set up, and I will tell you, I've up until last week, I'm gonna tell myself, I've had people ask me before, can you do this or can you go show this? I had to do a final walkthrough like a week and a half ago for an agent that couldn't go.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, and we have it set up to where you can just cash apps, like $25 to do that.
Yeah.
And I've never taken it, and I did last week for the first time, and I felt guilty for taking it. And I'm
right. You're like, well, gas prices.
Gas is $4 a gallon. I'm driving and I'm taking time away from this. So I took it, and I felt bad. But so that's intriguing.
It's nice to have that support. And like we have a group text and we'll like send each other funny jokes and stuff. Or when we need to vent.
My phone's probably blowing up over now.
Oh.
I mean, because we have Facebook, we have different message threads for help, community events, different things going on. And it's nonstop. And some people need to learn that, hey, 6 a.m. is a little early and 1 a.m. is a little late. But other than that, it works. Yeah. Because I'm one of those guys that can't turn my phone volume off.
Oh, so okay. So we talk about like how I set my life up so that I can take naps, right?
Yes.
You gotta set boundaries. I know you've been doing this for 14 months, but I'm telling you, you will burn out.
What she's talking about, and we talked about a little bit before we went on or started recording. And I got giddy, and I've got goosebumps right now. The hair standing up because she's preaching to the choir. It's just that I'm jealous of her because she figured out at a younger age than I did because I was in my 50s before I realized, hey, this is not normal working the hours I'm doing.
Life is short.
I want to, and before I know it, I'm going to be gone. And what kind of legacy did I leave? Go to work and stay at work and not enjoy yourself? Because I would get jealous. Not just you, but I mean, every time I looked, she's paddleboarding, she's doing this, and what the hell? She's where with motorcycles? How's she doing this? She's riding a Tail of the Dragon, and I'm stuck riding maybe to get gas or pods for my vape pen. That's the extent of my rides, and I'm like, how does she do this and be a realtor? And I, for all fairness, I thought of that even first. I'm like, how is she getting all this free time? So for me, when I became a realtor, there's things I do that other agents look at and go, you can't do that. Oh, absolutely, I can. Watch me.
Yeah.
Because I don't show properties. I don't do anything after 12 on Sunday.
Right.
I don't do anything on Monday either.
Good for you.
And sorry, it's because I have to carve out that time. And if you're going to get me early on a Sunday before noon, you're locked and loaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's we got to see this so you can put the offer in.
Right.
We're not going for that first time to go take a look on Sunday. And it's just the way that I operate. And setting those boundaries allowed me to, I've had more vacations in the past 14 months than I've ever had.
Yeah.
Before we came in here, my wife is kicked back by the pool with the dogs.
Yeah.
And we have kids over. There's stuff going on. And for the first time in my entire professional life, I'm in control. And my camper's getting used. My truck's getting serviced right now, so I can back and hook to the camper. We're going to Kentucky. We're going. My mentor is an agent, Elizabeth, lives in North Carolina. We're going to camp at her place in the mountains. And I couldn't do that anyplace before. So I want you to go a little bit further into your personal experience and talk about setting the boundaries to how you do it, because you're living a life. And I said it earlier, and I probably didn't say it right just now, but I mean, I look at you and it's like, damn, that's how everybody ought to do it, because there's always something going on. Now, for all I know in the background, it's not that way, but damn sure it looks it.
Well, social media is not real.
What? Wait.
You don't see, what you don't see is when I'm, going out paddleboarding, that I have my computer in my hotspot, and I'm in there, I'm making phone calls, and I'm in there sending out contracts at red lights. That's the part you don't get to see, right?
Well, I know that, but the fact that, literally the fact that you do this, and that I see it, and I'm, without sounding weird, I'm happy for you.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Genuinely, it makes me feel good when I look and see that. I'm like, holy shit, I want you to come and talk to my kids.
Right.
And not that my kids need to quit working so much, but there's a couple of them you could have a conversation with. But I enjoy seeing the fruits of your labor and how you're divvying up your time. And let me ask you this. In the past year, how many times have you gone on bike rides?
Like motorcycle or bicycle?
No, hell with that bicycle. That's too
it's too motorcycle. Motorcycle rides? I mean, a lot. I don't know. Not enough to count.
5?
Motorcycle rides?
I'm saying on a long ride.
Oh.
More than that you went out of town.
Okay, so I probably do. This year's been a little weird because this year's been a little, but I generally do probably 3 big motorcycle trips. Like
big.
Like go up to like North Carolina, Virginia, like go up to the mountains. Usually do that.
Do 3 of those
3 times a year.
Now, how many weekend rides do you do, or something where you're just riding around, where 5, 10, 20 of you, maybe even more, get together and ride over Florida?
Yeah, before. I mean, that was like every week. Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah, but
I hate you.
I know. So I moved to Tampa, and now it's a little different. Like I'm not in the country anymore, so I'm like in the city now. So it's a little different.
I tell people that to make that move from a North Lakeland or something like that to a Tampa into town definitely impacts it.
Right, yeah. So like before I was in Plant City, so like, going for a motorcycle ride was delightful, right? Mm-hmm. I'm in downtown Tampa now. So to get anywhere that's nice to ride is an hour through traffic. And it's 1,000 degrees outside. Yeah, and
then in town it's even hotter because everything's all concrete.
So hence paddleboarding.
So 3 major rides a year typically, and then whatever you can fit in.
So those are long weekends. So generally leave Wednesday, come back Monday.
First of all, I consider taking Friday off and being back Sunday night a long weekend.
Right?
See how she's living it? Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So
So, not to get off topic, but why did you move to Tampa from Plant City? What made you go in town? Is it because of real estate?
Well, no. I wanted to be, partially. I mean, so a lot of my business is in Pinellas. Yep. That's where my broker is located. Yep. So, of course, I do, most of my business is in Pinellas, unless it's like referral business, because I'm born and raised over here. You know, I grew up in Brandon, and so all of my friends and, you know, stuff are over on this side of town. So I do basically all of Tampa Bay area, but I've been country living for a long time, but I like being in the city. It's very weird. Like, I grew up country. I grew up in Lithia.
I don't understand. For you, if I had to pick, if I just met you and spent like an hour with you, I would see you living more in, I'm not going to say downtown Lakeland, but enough to where you could enjoy the pubs or
Right.
or Joe's or whatever
Yeah.
in downtown Lakeland. I can see you doing that. I can see you out throwing axes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do spend a lot of time in downtown Lakeland too. But,
that's
you know,
where
I
I
have a lot
would.
of friends
That's
over
where I
there.
would place you,
Yeah.
and not downtown Tampa.
Yeah, but Tampa. So I'm in like the West Shore area,
Yep.
very close to the airport.
Yep.
I have been traveling a lot more this year. That's why I like motorcycle rides. I do a lot of traveling for, like, I subcontract out and work motorcycle events.
Tell us about
So
that.
that's another
Because one of the things she does, so not only is she a kick-ass realtor, but I see her repping Honda
Yeah.
at motorcycle events. Tell us where all you would do that at. Where all have you been repping Honda?
Yeah, so I work with Honda as a subcontractor. Like, so you figure, like, let's take Bike Week, right?
Yep.
Daytona. I mean, that's one that's local, but they have the demo, you know, the motorcycles you can go and demo ride.
Yep.
So I work support for that. So I'm the person that you come and see and give your driver's license and sign all your waivers and pick your motorcycle and, you know, travel all over the country doing that.
So
And,
what's the furthest you went with that?
California. Yeah, so we've done California, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
New Hampshire was a side-by-side event for the Talon. That was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's so that's also a long weekend. Wednesday to Monday.
Wednesday to Monday. Joe, do you ever heard of what long weekend go from Wednesday to Monday?
No.
See, that's a Monica.
I
I'm
like-
gonna take a Monica.
A Monica weekend,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, my long weekends are Wednesday
So-
to Monday.
Okay, so you're
Um,
repping the motorcycles, you're traveling doing that, subcontractor doing that, full-time agent. What else you got going? I seen on social media a while back that you were looking all girly on motorcycles and taking pictures.
I did. Yeah, I did a little bit of modeling, but that's all. Like, that sounds glamorous,
That's funny.
but it was for a motorcycle magazine, and one of my closest friends was the editor. So
Oh, cool.
I'm just like, you know,
That's cool.
I had it in.
They were cool.
And yeah, that was fun. I used to, like, so she had me as the staff model, which was hilarious because I'm like local and convenient, and I fit into the loaner gear.
Kind of like my producer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. Local and convenient.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was funny because it was always me, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, sometimes I would wear a wig, or I would have my helmet on, so you wouldn't know it was me.
Yeah, baby Tara is gone.
Yeah, so, you know, I would be featured in all the magazines, but you wouldn't know, like, that it was me. It's just, yeah. But I don't do that, like, that. Having a magazine is tough right now
Oh.
in the world of, you know, not print.
So is it print only, or do they have an online?
It was both.
Okay.
But the editor, she ended up becoming a full-time RVer.
Well,
So, yeah, so she's doing that.
that's another thing I'd be
But
jealous about.
yeah. But yeah, so, like, setting up my life so that I can take long weekends, you know, so getting personal. I mean, you knew I took care of my grandmother for 12
Yes.
years,
Yes, I
right?
did.
So when I say life is short,
Yes.
you really kind of appreciate your time,
Yeah.
right? When you take care of somebody, whether it's your child
Yes.
or a parent, you know, when you're a caregiver for somebody, you see that time is precious.
Yes.
So when you're working, you know, these jobs that do suck you dry, or you're working every weekend, or you're working every holiday, you know, it kind of, you take a step back and you're like, where did my life go? You know?
Yep.
And I did that in my 20s, and in my 30s, I was like, I don't want to live this way. And I set it up where I don't have to make a lot of money. If I make a lot of money,
Great.
sweet. That's why I can travel, you know? So now in my 40s, I've set my life up where, like, I can take these long weekends, you know?
Very impressive to me that you've done that early on, because I think that I've salvaged some, and I think better late than never. Um, and it's not as hard as what some people think.
Right.
I'm car poor, and what I mean by that is I have a lot of vehicles, but for the first time in my entire life, I have a vehicle that is going to hit 100,000 miles.
Nice.
Because I was dumb, and I've been that way since I left home at 17. I kept buying new cars every year or two, and I would be upside down. And Joe knows, he's seen the pictures, and he's lived through some of it.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I don't have a car payment.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how much. I mean, you're paying $700-800 a month car payment, and you got two of them.
Well, you're like me too. Like your car is like an extension of yourself, right? Or your motorcycle, you know, like whatever it may be. I don't just drive a car because like it's a mode of transportation, right? It has to be like an extension of my personality.
See, if it was, if it wasn't an extension of, if I didn't use it as that, I'd be probably driving a Prius or something, just plain Jane.
Resourceful. No, like we want fast. We want, fun, right?
Yeah.
But
Until I found out that I had no idea how dumb I am. And I work on cars, but I don't work on anything new. It's all old stuff. I took my Hemi Ram truck to the dealership, and I had no idea that it had 16 spark plugs until today.
Yeah.
And because I got the bill for and I'm like, what the hell? It's like, you did two cars. Well, and he's going down the list, and I'm like, oh my God, there's 16 spark plugs. Right. How dumb am I to drive my truck for 3 years and have no idea?
I had no idea.
But anyway, but it's not. I didn't give up anything. All I gave up was the stress, and what I gained was the time.
Right.
And it's just so dumb, the routines that we get in. And one of the things we talked about on a previous episode was, I was raised, kids now I'm jealous of, because I was raised, you can't get up from that table until that plate's empty. Didn't matter whether you were full or not, you're not getting up until that plate's empty. You can't do a job that you enjoy. You've got to have a job with benefits and a pension and take care of your family. And that's just the way that we were raised. And now, and I kind of raised my kids that way, and now I'm seeing, you know what, that's probably not the smartest advice. That's probably not appropriate advice. So now it's all of a sudden, it's like, do what you enjoy. Now, I still make them have a backup. Every one of them have a backup.
Yeah.
If you're going to get this degree, or you're going to do this job, you're going to get this degree to be able to be there for a backup, because I'm still a little tied to the old school, have a degree and do whatever.
Well, I was raised by my grandparents, so I was raised that same way. Like, I had a job at 14.
Yeah.
I went to college, I got a degree. But I learned that I could make a lot of money in sales. Like, I don't use my degree. I say my degree is in basket weaving, because that's basically what I use it for. Like,
it's funny how degrees have changed, or at least the thought process is slowly but surely changing, because I know so few people that use a degree. My daughter uses hers, and my son-in-law uses her, but other than that, I don't know too many. I mean, I can't tell you how many people with teaching certificates sell insurance or real estate.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, and they're still paying off student loans.
Right. Oh my gosh, when I think I finished paying off my student loans.
Oh, wait a minute. News alert. You paid off your student loans?
I did.
I've not met anybody yet.
Oh, no, but so I went to college on a full academic scholarship and still had student loans.
Oh, man.
Because, why not, right? It's free money.
Yeah, it's free for a little while.
Money.
Yeah.
I think
somebody's hiding back there. He's living the dream right now.
Yeah. I think it was like, I was like 35? 33 or 35 when I finally paid off my student loan.
Listen, that's impressive, because I will tell you, I know 50-year-olds right now with student loans.
Yeah.
They still haven't paid back, and it's paying a little bit here and there.
I mean, at least the interest is a tax write-off, but still.
Yeah. So that's impressive. So
that was
So what other hobbies do you have? I know we talked about I think you're kayaking, or not kayaking, but paddleboarding.
Paddleboarding. Yeah, I'm not very good at anything.
Right.
I'm like, I like to do a lot of things. I like to stay busy, because in here is very loud, and that way, if I am like constantly busy, it kind of quiets what's going on in my brain. Yeah. So like motorcycles. I like going to like shows now, like going to concerts now that the world's kind of opened back up. Like,
What's the perfect concert for you? If you were going to, if you could go to any concert right now, where would you go?
so I just went to like Janice Landing over there in St. Pete was Shaky Graves, which is kind of like rockabilly,
I know,
yeah.
I know what she's talking about.
Yeah. But that was so cool. Just open air,
Yeah.
you're in it.
I like jazz.
Yeah, so-
I got a friend of mine that plays there at least once a year.
Yeah.
They're in a, why can't I think? The cover band. No Shoes. Kenny Chesney cover band.
Oh.
Sorry, Max. I did not
Yeah.
mean to forget. But they play there like all the time.
Yeah. See, I like going there and just being in it.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I said, it quiets all
I
the
miss next to the
craziness.
beer cart, and I'm good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, like real estate is stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt about
Yeah,
it. So
very.
like, I like to have something that's gonna take my mind off of whatever it is, right? So riding a motorcycle, paddleboarding is, super serene. You're just out there in nature and it's great. I mean, we're in Florida. We have like the manatees and otters,
So much
and it's
stuff.
just, it's beautiful out there. I recently bought a digital piano,
Yeah.
which I'm so bad at. But
The keyboard is good for anybody. That I like having.
Yeah.
And
oh, do you
for me-
play?
for me, I play it when nobody's around. I don't have one right now, but
Okay.
I've usually had one all my life
Yeah.
until recently. And but
I'm so
I
bad.
play enough. Oh, Joe's got one. So
Yeah?
There we go. I'll have to dig that out. But
All right.
nobody's home and I'm jamming.
My neighbors probably all hate me because I'm just, like I'm trying to learn, but my fingers get all tongue tied.
I started playing in high school just as a credit filler,
Mhm.
and we had a keyboard class. And Sedona Hobbs was my choir director. She did it all. She was the keyboard teacher,
Mhm.
and the keyboard had 6 keyboards on it, like a dining room table,
Wow.
and you had a headphone,
Yeah.
so you could just hear yourself. She had a master headphone, and
Oh
she
my.
could pick who she wanted to listen to,
Yeah.
and she could say, "Hey, Steve, play this."
Okay.
And as soon as she got off the headphone with me and was on the next person, I'm rocking.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah.
playing whatever I'm playing what I'm not supposed to be
Yeah.
playing. And she would come back around and catch me playing something I wasn't supposed
Yeah.
to. But that's my keyboard.
I'm not musical.
I can read music, I just can't play music.
Yeah, no, I love music. I'm not musical, but I wanted to try, like, just basically to get off my phone and like the endless scrolling that we like to do,
Can't get away from it. And
Yeah.
and I tell people, hey, don't be on the TV or phone late at night. And literally, as a realtor, first of all, I lost 76 pounds and I've gained 45 back as a realtor because I'm eating off the roller grill at racetrack and I'm
Yeah, we're
going
in
to
the car.
Wawa.
all the
I'm
time,
writing contracts in McDonald's parking lot.
Yeah.
Hell, if I'm here, let me get a milkshake.
using their Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
I know about that.
My phone, everything connects automatically when I'm driving by.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. But it's just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to finish on a negative. But you made me just think of something, so
Yeah.
I'm bouncing around, and I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay.
We talked about real estate being stressful.
Yeah.
Most stressful. What stresses you the most about real estate? And I'll tell you mine after I get done.
Okay, so you talk about control, right? So
I know what you're gonna say.
the thing that was real estate, like, so we're facilitators.
Yep.
Right? We basically facilitate the
Yep.
transaction. None of it's in our control.
No.
Absolutely none of it.
I don't control title. I don't control the lender. All I control is getting the contract submitted and showing up for closing and opening. I mean, it's
That's it.
It's
Just
silly.
having your checklist and making sure that people are doing what they're supposed to do. And if they're not doing what they're supposed to do and the deal falls apart, you're just like, well, all right, you
Making
can't.
my heart hurt because I'm going through one right now. Here's
So that's it.
the
Lack of control.
everybody has this saying, and I promise I'm not stealing this from anybody, but I
Mhm.
believe real estate is 10% of what I do, and I believe 90% of what I do is a life coach.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I help people fix their credit.
Yeah.
I
Marriage counselor.
I explain what a mortgage is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of scary how unprepared a lot of people are,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's not just kids.
No, I know.
I'm with grown people going, hey, let's talk. Whoa, easy, hold on, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And here's where we need to be at, because It's scary, but I mean that. Real estate is 10% of it, and life coach is 90%. And the most stressful part of it for me is as I get personally attached to my buyer, and it is such an emotional roller coaster for me
Right.
that I'm exhausted at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got one right now that literally extended 15 days, and the seller's upset. The buyer's upset.
Yeah.
She was conventional. They switched her to FHA. She spent money for foundation inspection, another appraisal, all this stuff. And the night before closing, they decide, the underwriters say, oh, guess what? The elevation certificate says this is wrong, and we can't loan you money.
Yeah.
So now we're
Now you're
stuck.
scrambling.
Now I've got a seller upset with me because they're not real. I didn't do anything. They know that I didn't do anything, but they have to have somebody to be upset with. So he's upset and venting to me. The buyer's upset venting to me, and I'm scrambling trying to find a lender because it's like if we put it back on the market, you're going to be at least another 30 to 45 days before we get closed.
Yeah.
We have somebody here with all this stuff done. Let's see if we can get her another lender and maybe get it done in 2 weeks or so.
I have a great lender that's a deal saver.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I'm hoping and praying.
She saves many a deal for me that has been very similar.
I will tell you, I gotta be careful. I don't want to mention anything. But we have a lender who was our lender of choice.
Right.
And they just switched companies. And
That's
all
tough.
of a sudden became this mortgage company. But my guy said, you know what? This is a good opportunity for me. I'm going to be my own manager, branch manager of this.
Okay.
And so I still have him. And he was in transition is the only reason that she went the lender that she did.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's been a nightmare.
Yeah.
And literally as of yesterday, he all but wrote an email that he was going to come whip my ass because I copied an email when they sent that out. I said, this has to be a joke. I'll tell you exactly how I worded the email. They said, hey, we're unable to do this loan at 6 p.m. scheduled to close 9 a.m. the next morning. I said, this has to be a joke. I said, X, you and X mortgage company own this. You need to fix this.
Yeah.
You're the one that switched her from this type financing to this. Even though she qualified for conventional, you switched her to FHA. And I've got 17 emails from you here saying that you said, no worries, this is a piece of cake. Underwriters already looked at it. It's going to go through. Don't worry. And I said, now here we are. What's your plan? And he fired an email back and goes, I'm out of the country right now. Don't ever talk to me like that. And I'm going, wait, you're out of the country right now? That would have been good information for everybody involved with this deal to know how long you've been out of the country. So it just kind of escalated for that.
Yeah.
So, but for me, it's the emotional side of it for my buyers. It's not, I'm working this much compared to what I physically worked before.
Yeah.
So it's not that, for me, it's just the emotional part of it.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure.
Okay, so we're getting ready to wrap up. So what would Monica want to tell 15-year-old Monica for advice to either to end up the way you've ended up or to change? What advice would you give 15-year-old Monica?
Well, I still listen to a lot of the same music that I did when I was 15, so I don't know that I've really matured much.
That's nice.
in that many years. Gosh.
You'd probably tell her to skip the retail, maybe.
No, because I believe all that stuff, it teaches you. And it teaches you stress, like how to manage stress. So yeah, I don't regret anything I did in my life. I'd probably tell her to like stretch more. Everything hurts.
Yeah, well, yeah, there ain't no getting around this.
Like, everything about body hurts.
See, that's a good indication. And I say this all the time. I wouldn't change.
No.
There may be a situation or two I would change, but I would not change anything because that time as a retail, the Home Depot store manager, a Pilot store manager,
Toys R Us.
I wasn't going to mention that. That all shaped me and gave me the experience, and I don't want to say it just gave me the experience to help me manage situations now.
Yeah.
I think it's made me better. So I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
There's one or two wives I might have passed, but But as far as the professional side of it, I
No.
don't think I would change anything because
No, like I said, I started working when I was 14, and all my jobs taught me different things, and even like the mistakes I've made and the people that have come and gone in my life. Like there's been a lot of heartache, and
that's all
but
part of it.
it's it makes you who you are. So yeah, probably just stretch and exercise and don't get so fat.
Nice. So fat.
Right.
Why is she looking at me when she says
Right,
okay?
no. Yeah, 76-pound, 15-year-old Monica is like, oh, what happened to you?
Well, anyway, I am very grateful that you took time and
Aw,
took
thanks.
this time to come out and share with us. And
Yeah, that was fun.
and I don't care if anybody doesn't watch it or not. It was entertaining for me, and
Yeah.
and I meant what I said.
Well, we've always had great conversations.
I do
so-
live my life vicariously through you,
Yeah.
and I think that what you're doing is great, and I envy the fact that you figured it out before I did. But
well, I always enjoy your rants too.
my rants, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm due.
So I knew this would be fun. I'm like, oh yeah, like me and you ranting together, right on.
Yeah, that'll work. All right. Well, again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Don't forget, next week, new episode. I think there may be airplanes involved. I got chastised for saying episode numbers because now we're out of sequence because I promised what was going to be on another number. So I will never tell you an episode number again. Thanks for joining us on the Red Shed Ramblings.